Hello, this is hello everyone. This is Deb Sheppard. We're here live, 11:11 here in Colorado. I know I haven't seen some of you in a couple of weeks. Sorry about that, but I'm here today with heavy heart. I'll explain that. But I'm going to talk about what's happened in the last couple of days, especially the last 24 hours or whatever it has been. But I want to welcome everybody. This is your first time. If you've been, following me for some time, I'm in much gratitude. I know we're going to have a lot of people that are close to my heart here today, so we will certainly do some shout outs. Behind the scenes here is Dana, my wife, and she's here to manage all of the things behind the scenes, which I'm always grateful for, as well as our producer, Elizabeth, that is at another location. It's so amazing we can do this, that we can talk to people connect with people from all over this beautiful. Can't hear me, so Dana's trying to get another microphone on. I think we're good. Yeah. So, with that said, I do want to talk about a couple people that have passed this week. One in particular, my dear friend Megan. I'm going to talk about her quite a bit in today. She passed this morning very early, and I will talk about her and what gifts she has given to me that I want to reflect on. But at the same time, I probably will do a couple readings, probably not as many, just because of where I am energetically. I am also grieving these deep losses, as well as I want to talk about a few things. And one of them is if you want to share how you celebrate your loved one that is now in the spirit world, as we may say, those that are in this business. So again, welcome. It is now 11:11 here in Colorado. Now that the plane is gone, I don't know if people can hear me through the plane. This last week, in the 6 days, Dana and I have lost two people in our lives. One of them is Mona, that I want to mention. She was only 57. She had 4 beautiful daughters and I think a few grandchildren. She was actually on one of our podcasts last year called Spirited Straight Talk. I invited her to talk about her journey because she had chosen a journey of not going to the medical community to fight it. She wanted her own personal journey. And I wanted her to share that because sometimes we like to intervene with people's choices or decisions. And she passed on the 9th of March. She was actually born on March 6th. And she just had a lot of courage to share and great sense of humor and really looked at life in a way that is very beautiful. Dana and her family knew Mona much more than I did, and a lot longer. I only had met Mona a couple times, but having her share her journey to me was very, very brave for her to get on and talk about what she was going through and why she made those tough decisions. Megan, I think it's in her early 40s. I don't know her exact age, but she has three, she still does, 3 lovely young women that I think are under the age of 13. And Megan is married to Aaron, that loved, still will forever, Megan. And we were able to see Megan a couple of days ago before she was unable to physically communicate. And the one thing that Megan will always teach me is to always have the courage, because she fought hard and she had the courage and the strength to do that. And sometimes I look at my life thinking, do I take the safe road? Do I take the safe path at times? And just, people don't see me cry very often. So we got to talk to her yesterday and be there with Aaron and talk about funny stories and what we remember, and we will continue. And Megan and Mona both had the same belief system, especially Megan. I have been working with Megan for the last 2.5 years in a program called Solutions, and she was in a tribe called the Soul Sisters, which everyone just loves. So we've been able to talk to her every week for the last couple of years before she got this horrible thing. And her bravery and her unwillingness to look at anything other than the fight to be here. The gifts that Megan has given to me is be braver. Because I think sometimes we play it safe. We don't want to have our voice. We don't have the courage to choose a path that maybe will be judged, or a path that may be more challenging. And I will be more than willing from this to be braver. In my life, I've had probably 75 to 100 people who have passed. And it still hurts. People think since I am able to connect with the other side, it might be easier and I can just connect. It doesn't mean I don't miss their physical being, them being here and celebrating with them and seeing their accomplishments and their challenges and being that support system. So yes, I still grieve and I still miss them. The beauty of, especially Megan for me, is Megan believed the way I believe, the way so many of us believe. And she in the class was for sure, I'm sorry to the other soul sisters, for sure, highly intuitive. And she would come up with things that even I was not able to see. And I told Erin, because of that, this is her husband, she will be around. She is going to give you messages. She is going to be there to let you know that she is okay and that she is with her other loved ones. People ask me questions. Do they miss us? Do they see what's happening? Yes, but they see us very differently. We miss that physical body that we use as a human suit. And the thing with Megan is she didn't give up at all. She continued to the very end to fight this. And that will stay with me. That is one of the many gifts that Megan gave me. Megan also was passionate about music. And she played I'm trying to think of the name. Do you remember the name of the instrument? It's like a violin, but it's not. So excuse me for not remembering. She also had a great sense of humor. And
was it viola?
Viola, thank you. And
she actually just came to me. I had no idea.
I'm sure that's Megan. Last year, she played that viola to me for my birthday and recorded it on her phone and sent that to me. It's one of the gifts I'll always treasure. When I was with Aaron, I was with Aaron yesterday, and I said to him, and I know Mona believed this too, it effing sucks. And to me, when people think about what to say to somebody, tell them it effing sucks. And when I was telling this to Aaron, I said, I don't mean to be disrespectful. And he laughed. He goes, that was Megan's favorite word, the F word. So multiple times we used that. Literally, I'm not going to say this on Facebook so I get banned, but it does it does effing suck. It came out because I'm sure it does. Cancer does. Her leaving way before I believe it's her time. Some of the things that I believe is not everything happens for a reason. I don't want to say that she's in a better place, because the better place was her being here with her children and her husband and her family. So please don't say that to anybody. But keeping their memory alive and keeping them around us and talking about them is so important. And Aaron was asking me, I want to stay connected. I want to feel her. I want her to talk to me. And even though she was in a induced coma, she was still coming through telling him things. And he laughed to me. He goes, that is so Megan. She would correct me all the time. And that's what she was doing. What I told Aaron and what I tell anybody that's trying to connect with their loved ones is, when you're in that grief state, it's totally okay. That's our human experience. And we were allowed to have all the different feelings, the anger, the frustration, the denial, whatever we feel regarding our grief. Yet if you want to connect with them, it's bringing in that joy and that positive energy, thinking about the the stories, and I kept asking Aaron over and over, tell me another story, because it shifts our thinking so that we can connect with them. A medium's job is to raise our consciousness and our vibration to be able to connect with your loved ones. And we don't have the same memory and grief and the sense of loss. And we use the word loss because it feels like a loss, even though they're not lost, they're still with us. But the more that you cherish and honor and celebrate, which is why I wore this today, I wanted to celebrate these two amazing women that had such great courage. I want to celebrate them. We will be sad for a long time, but I want to celebrate them. So I brought out some bling because I know for sure both of them would want that. I do, trust me. So if you are sad and grieving for your loved one, celebrate them, remember them, talk to them because they are listening. And if you are struggling with trying to hear them, keep practicing, don't give up. What I teach in my programs is how to get out of your own way and hear from them, because I would rather you hear your loved ones than having to come to a medium and validating that. That's what our job is. Our job is to validate that they are with you, to bring through the things that remind you of them so you can trust it. And that's the big thing, is to learn to trust. So I am going to definitely celebrate these two women. I knew Megan very well, and I think I felt I knew her deeply, even though it was just a few years. And she is an incredible woman, and she still is. And she has the incredible power to connect with us and let us know that she is okay, because that's what we want to know. Are they okay? Are they with their loved ones? But they are also with us. And if we pay attention to that real quiet energy that they show up, they will. And Megan and Mona, I will tell you, they're strong women, and they will show themselves because they want you to remember, and they want you to know that they're right next to you. Thank you for letting me share that. I'll take all the love and the great vibes and the energy, because we all grieve. And I am glad I had the opportunity to meet them here physically, and I will continue to have relationships with them because I know that's what they want. Any shout outs, any thoughts?
Sure, I had lots of people sharing. Of course, many of your solution students are on, and just grieving with, everybody is impacted in your programs by the loss of Megan. And so I think we're all feeling that today. I feel it would be a little unfair to try to make you channel loved ones right now, just because you're in such deep grief. So if everyone just can be very understanding, we will be back next week with the Facebook Live again. Deb will do readings.
I think it's to let people know it's okay to grieve. It's okay to be in all those different states of mind and to remember them. And I think I'm an expert in grief, helping other people. Mm-hmm. And because of that, it's allowing myself to experience the physical presence that we've all had with someone that we love. Mm-hmm. And I know we're going to celebrate both of these women, especially Megan, because Megan is, for me,
she's very close.
Very close. I mean, we talk to her once to twice a week, if not more. At least. And Megan is one that she'd be in the ER and she would be in the hospital, and if one of her soul sisters were going through a hard time or needed to be remembered or had a celebration, Megan was one of the first in line to check in on us. Mm-hmm. She will continue to be that. So she's not going to change. People don't change. She will be there watching her daughters and watching Aaron and being connected for us.
Hopefully she shows up once a week to the solution
Yeah, I
meeting still.
think she will. She'll
But
probably
Megan, not the electronics.
Yeah,
Please,
it's
not the electronics.
show us another way. You know, I think through my journey of the people who passed in my life, and like I told all of you today, I you know, people will come and have a private session, and Dana will tell them to prepare, and they'll put down 5 people, and they're my age, and I'm thinking, is that your reality, or is that just who you want to talk to? And if I wrote down the list of people, for me, it would be, I would assume, close to 100. And with that said, I want everyone to remember that there is a lot of people that crossed over in your life, and to recognize them, because that's going to also help you connect with the specific people that you really, truly want to hear from. And I was raised in a very different belief system over the years, growing up, but over the years I've changed that. And having this belief system that our souls continue and that we can stay connected has given me a considerable amount of peace, strength, a feeling of, I can get through this, I will see them again. But that physical piece of that still goes to the core, still goes to the heart. And I do know, and I say this often, they know that we're going to grieve and we're going to miss them. But I have never heard them say, be miserable because I'm not here physically. And I want to say that because I want to be clear that they are still in a spirit world, but they are still very connected to us. I've always said, you know, even though they're on the other side, they're still by our side. And I say that religiously, even though I don't have a kind of religion, because they are. And that keeps me feeling okay with what sucks, because it does. It really does. Does anyone have anything to share? Or do you just...
Messages, yeah. Just
okay.
Jennifer on Facebook is saying, such a great message to live by, being brave. Just lots of love to everyone.
That's okay. One thing I find about celebrating someone's life, I know that we call them celebrations of life or funerals, or there's so many different names for this process for everyone's different faiths. Going to a church or a synagogue or a park or whatever building that you go to, that is really about all of us getting together to remember somebody. But you can do your own celebration. So if you weren't able to attend or say goodbye, or feel like you hadn't been connected to someone that you cared about for a long time, they hear you because it comes through in sessions all the time. My recommendation is find a way to celebrate them, whether it's a prayer or an intention, planting something, walking in honor of whatever they were fighting. There's so many of those. Donate in their name. Do something for yourself that you feel like you are doing something to honor that person that made an impact in your life at some part of the journey, whether it was the beginning, the middle, or near the end of their life. They made an impact on you, and what gifts did they give you? And I know that we're going to do that. We joked with Megan that we were going to get a tattoo, or I was going to have Dana get a tattoo. I don't know if we're going to do that, but they know that we do this, and that's our human experience, is to grieve, celebrate, honor. That's part of our human process.
I was just going to say, maybe the Soul Sisters, will get all matching tattoos. I'm just kidding. No.
Actually, I thought about, everyone knows about my wings in the background, getting wings. Just to honor everyone that has passed. I think if you're new in the journey of a loss and something really significant, you're really searching for answers. And you've got to find what you believe. Mm-hmm. And you've got to find a way that works for you. And people can tell you what they believe. They can tell you how to believe and tell you what you should be doing. I'm going to tell you to ignore that. Mm-hmm. Ignore anything that doesn't fill your soul. And as one of our soul sisters uses the word resonate, if it doesn't resonate with your being, accept what works for you and find what does, search. There's so many books out there. There's so many different things. And the other thing is, if you do really want to have a medium, get a good one. You just got an email, which is not a surprise, of someone that said really horrible, negative things to a group of women. Get someone that has a good reputation, someone that will respect where you are in your process. If you're here in the US, because I know that this podcast or this Facebook, this live goes to people
Other
in
countries.
other countries. Other countries sometimes read better than we do. Sometimes Americans sort of suck at it, and we're a drive-through. We want to be fixed. We want it to feel better. And there is no secret. There is a process that each individual goes through. It's interesting because I was going to do a podcast here, and we will do this about the top 20 questions that I get asked. And the other thing I was going to talk about is don't tell anyone, don't let anyone tell you it's time to let go or move on. Have that person in your heart as long as you're here to remember them. So don't take unsolicited advice to heart. Trust what works for you. Celebrate them. I mean, this is why I went in and chose this outfit today. I could have easily worn black in sense of mourning, and I am, and I will be. But I also want to celebrate the greatness that especially Megan brought to my life and the life of so many people she touched. And I do know that I will be more brave because of her. I will. Okay.
Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for joining.
We'll be back next week. Join us then.
And as I said earlier, even though they're on the other side, they are still by our side. Thank you for joining us.